figured it out. Oh gosh, okay. Alright, so like Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Everyone loves the game. It's such a good game, guys. Like, but everyone's questioning, what's the timeline? What's the timeline? Everyone's got all these crazy theories about it. Matt Pack comes out with the new theory, and everyone's like, this is canon. But he's wrong. I'm right. I'm right. Okay. Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. It's really quite simple, really, if you really think about it. It's quite simple. It all started. Shoot. As I was saying, it all starts in the Mormon town of Utah, Arizona. Utah. So, two businessmen, William Afton and Henry Emily. You see? They start a business, right? Yeah, you know the business. Fredbear's Family Diner. That one, yeah? That's what I thought. Fredbear's Family Diner, yeah? So then, they're robotic, they make robots, yeah? We all know that, it's Five Nights at Freddy. They make robots, see? They make robots. And these robots are special. Because they sing and dance. So they made two suits. A gold one and another gold one, yeah? One's a bear. His name's Fredbear, because he's a bear. The other is Spring Bonnie? Green, no? Is that the name? Okay, that's the name. So yeah, these two suits, pristine condition. Perfect. They do, however, have a fatal flaw that makes them deadly to use. See, these two suits have what I like to call spring lock technology. I made that name, me. Spring lock technology. So that means anytime you use it, you could put it in robot mode, which is when it's a robot and robots, or human mode, where you can get inside of it. You can get inside of it and pilot the robot like it's Evangelion. So that's the gimmick, is that there's two suits. You can be a human or a robot. I got it. Human or robot. But the problem is, silly William, is that when you use these suits, there's I did the math, 47.6% chance that you just die because the locks and you go. Because you're now in robot mode. When you're a human, it doesn't work like that. And then you die. So then, shoot. Oh my gosh, I need a life. So, these suits are very deadly. But William and Afton and Henry Emily, they still use them because they're making mad bank. So they're like, oh, let's go, we're getting so much money. And then, whoopsie daisy, there is a spring lock failure. Which means someone was in the suit, the spring lock's locked, and then they died. Not good for business, you see what I mean? But luckily, they are two of the smartest businessmen ever, and this murder does not affect them really at all, honestly. It just kind of shows them that they're like, you can die in these. So then, Henry and Emily start a new restaurant with the new animatronics that actually came from a television show. Right? You can see it right there. That one. But it works. And they make more money. Okay. So they make more money with the new restaurant. But William Afton's son is scared of the robots. You see, right? He's crying right there. That's not good. It's not good. So he's crying because he's sad at the robots. And I'm Why? Why? He's scared of the animatronics, so he's crying all the time. But his brother, Michael Afton, his older brother, is like, he's foxy, and he's like jumping at him to scare him, you know? That's what I would do. So he's scaring him, making him more scared of the animatronics. But his dad owns the place, so it doesn't really work out now, does it? So he goes to a party. His party. And then Fredbear's up there, he's going like, he does that. And Michael Afton and his like 7 bros, you know, kill Evan. I mean, the crying child. The crying child, not Evan. His name is Evan. And this was the bite of 83, not 3. Yeah. So Evan dies, and then it's like, whoa, FNAF 4 happens. The 4th game. So FNAF 4 happens, where we see the crying child, or Michael Afton, actually. Doesn't matter, because like, bottom line, the animatronics in this game are like supposed to be like the nightmare, like kind of haunting him, you know. It's like haunting him, you know. It doesn't really matter who the protagonist is. I feel like it makes more sense if it's Michael, because he like killed him, but like, I don't know. Bottom line, William Afton's like, shoot, he's dead. So he decides to put him back together again, which everyone in the community thinks he's a robot. No, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So he's not actually a robot. What that line refers to is him putting the crying child in the golden Fredbear suit, because he realizes after experimenting, for some reason, I don't know, man. For some experimenting, he realizes that these animatronic suits can cause eternal life. So he takes Evan, the crying child, and puts him in the suit, because he's like, he'll live forever, yay! And then he realizes, shoot, my son's a big bear now. That doesn't work. So Fredbear is now haunted, which is not good for business. So that happens. And after this happens, William is like, I should make more robots that kill kids, because he's now a little crazy. So he makes the Funtime Animatronics to create a new robot. New robot. So this new robots, there's like multiple of them. These new robots are supposed to take the kids and eat them. That's what they do. And then they use that to make the remnant. Okay. I guess a remnant is like when the kids die, it's their soul. but it's not. It's like the remnant of their soul. It's not actually their soul. It's like battery acid. But remnant is to the soul as battery acid is to a battery. But that makes it easier to learn. So he uses this remnant and he's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, bro. And then when you make, he also has a daughter. So like when you make animatronics that kill kids with a kid, it's not gonna work out well. So his daughter dies. She gets eaten by Baby, the big one. They're actually all like 7 foot tall. The big one, again. And now Elizabeth, that's his daughter's name, is now in the big robot. So this is when William Afton goes cuckoo crazy. like I mean, so crazy. William is then kicked out of the company because, you know, you kind of made a robot that tried to kill kids. So, not the best idea. He does that, gets kicked out of the company, and he's like, I made that company. What are they doing that to me? So the only logical explanation is that he goes to the restaurant, one of the restaurants, I don't really think we know which one, probably Fredbear's. And Henry's daughter is outside, and he's like, and he stabs her to death. And the security puppet that Henry created to watch his daughter failed completely, didn't work once, and it went out of the restaurant and tried to save her. I think her name is Charlotte or something. Her name is Charlotte, I know that. And she dies, obviously, because she got stabbed. And Henry is like, shoot, because the security puppet kind of fused with her soul, and now she's in the puppet. So Henry's like, darn it, man, that wasn't supposed to happen. So FNAF 2 happens, where Henry, trying to keep the company afloat after like 4 kids died, or 3 kids died. 3 kids died. And William, now being that little goofy goober now, this is the moment when Walter White became William Afton became Purple Guy. This is the moment. This is the moment. So now he's killing all the kids just to, I don't know, feel something. Oh, for the remnant. For the remnants. It's all in here. For the remnant. He then uses his remnant to just, I don't know, screw around, make stuff. Gives life to the Funtime Animatronics just to see what happens. Other than Baby. Baby's already possessed by Elizabeth. So, after William kills the 5 kids during FNAF 2, he stuffs them into the animatronic of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, the 4 spin-off animatronics from the first spin-off all the way back. Now you may be asking yourself, we got a kid missing. That's where it comes in. He put him in Golden Freddy. There's 2 souls in Golden Freddy. Just saying, makes perfect sense. Just makes perfect sense. So there's 2 souls in Golden Freddy. And now all the animatronics are possessed. So after this happens, FNAF 2 starts to the location starts to close down because, you know, 5 kids were murdered and it didn't exactly, you know, you can get away with 1, but not 5, that's a little too much. So now all the animatronics think that the security guard is William Afton, Purple Guy, because he's now purple guy now. So, because that's the moment he became purple guy. So he's purple guy now. They all think it's him because he's wearing the same uniform, because it's the security guard uniform, which is what he used when he killed the kids before he turned into the spring body suit, which is the spring body suit he used to actually murder the kids, but the security suit was just the suit he wore to get the job. So anyway, that happens, and they all try to kill him, but he survives. He survived the night. Six of them. 7, 8, 7. No, it's 7 nights. Not Freddy. 5 nights. The F is for 5, not 7. So he survives the night, but the location closes down. But on the final day, the security guard's standing there. He's like, "I sure love my frontal." Chomp. He's bitten. We don't know by who though. We do know Mangle, or Foxy, or Freddy, or Balloon Boy. But that is the bite of 87. But then, on the 7th night, Michael Afton works because he's trying to correct the sins of his father. And then FNAF 1 happens. So in FNAF 1, 4, 2. That's not how the math works. FNAF 1. Michael is the security guard because he's trying to right the sin of his father. He goes to the new location, which is composed of the original four animatronics actually, that were originally had the kids stuffed in them. That the puppet gave life. The puppet gave life to the animatronics in the first place, which is why she is important. But she gave life to them. That's why they're evil. The original four animatronics, plus Golden Freddy down there because he can't stand. The original four animatronics are the ones that are now here now. But Golden Freddy is also here because he also has the kid stuck inside of him, you know? He has 2 kids in him. But since he's one of the Springlock suits, he's stuck in human mode, but there's no human in it. He can't stand because he doesn't got the robot parts in him to make it go. He can't do that. But this new location with Michael Afton as the security guard, nothing could go wrong. Everything goes wrong. So, in the first 4 nights, we are guided by the phone guy, who doesn't have relevance to the story, but in the 5th night he's dead. Or actually he dies in the 4th night, but in the 5th night he goes like, and it's not him, it's Golden Freddy. So Golden Freddy doesn't do much in this game. Okay, so with Golden Freddy being the spirit of Cassidy, which was the name of the kid that William killed, and Evan, the crying child, they are both taking control of the body. So when Golden Freddy sees Michael, he's like, "I don't like that. That's the guy that killed me." So he keeps plastering "it's me" over him to haunt Michael of the sins of him, actually. Not of the father, it's of him. So that's what happens. But after the nights are over, all 7 of them, dude, it's got 5 nights in the name. Why are there 7? Whatever. After that happens, the place closed down. Nothing crazy happened this time, surprisingly. People just realized, like 50 kids died here. We should not eat here. But yeah, that's the story. Just kidding. So stupid. William purple guy comes back, and he walks in to the location now that it is disrupted. Closed down, decrepit. That's the word. He walks in. He walks in with his little pixel. He goes like this. He's like that, and he dismantles the animatronics to try and get the last bits of remnant to build his life back. Just kidding. At this point, he just wants immortality. Because, like, if all of his kids are dead, he might as well just live past them someday. Might as well. I mean, when your wife divorces you, that has, like, nothing to do with the story. Everyone just assumes his wife left him. I should say. Everyone in the community has collectively agreed that, like, his wife left him. There's no plot relevance to that. Like, there's, like, barely anything related to that. People just agreed on it. Everyone just agreed that that happened. But after William dismantles all the animatronics, the kids, the original 4 or 5 souls, come out of the suits and come to haunt William. But him being the genius he is, not as smart as me, but very close, comes into the little back room where he kept the spring-lock suit. The spring-lock suit. Now, this suit has a very special property. No, just kidding, it doesn't. So he gets in the suit because he's like, I don't know. Maybe it's a comfort character, I don't know. But then, due to all how old the locks are, and the building was wet because it was raining, and since the building is no longer upkept, the rain was leaking. He gets up, he's like, and then he dies. He gets spring-locked, just like the one guy in the first death. I think it's like a janitor or something. But he gets spring-locked and dies on the ground. After Springtrap gets spring-trapped, Michael is still trying to find his father. Because he knows he's still alive. He knows it, but he can't find him. But he knows one thing he can do. Find his sister. Who is, if you don't know, still in baby. She's just there. But yeah, I don't know. So she goes down into what used to be Circus's Pizza Baby World. Circus Baby's Pizza World, there you go. But is now a rental service where you can rent out the killer animatronics that are meant to kill kids. So he goes down into the secret bunker where all the animatronics are held and works the 5 night shifts there to see if he can find his sister. In which he does, and they have a happy reunion. And then she lies to him, and then he gets scooped. Like, literally all of his insides are just taken out. And all of the Funtime Animatronics combined into Ennard, which is like a big amalgamation of all of them. He looks like this. Yeah. Yeah, that's inside of Michael. So they crawl into Michael, and they're like, yo, see him walking down on the street? That's not Michael. That's Ennard. So Ennard is now in Michael Afton. But after like 5 days, Michael's body realizes, shoot, that's not supposed to be there. And he throws up the insides, and now they're in the sewer system. But Michael lives because apparently every Afton has a second chance at life. Just some are better than others. Just saying, I'd rather be baby than that thing. But Michael lives. There's like 50 theories behind this. Only one right answer. He simply did not want to die and just picked himself up and kept going. That's my theory. Truth. That's the truth. He just felt like living again. So, after that happens, Michael is now on a very important quest to find his dad, which is what he does in FNAF 3. 20 years later, 30, 20, 30, 20. One of those years, he comes back, and he didn't die, because due to all of his experimenting with Remnant, he lives, which, I mean, to be fair, was his goal, but now he's a rabbit, and we don't like those guys. You ever watch Hop? Not a good movie. That's him. That's Springtrap right there. Except he can't play the drums. It's not as cool. It's just a stupid movie. Why'd they make that? Why is it the second... I don't know the actor's name, but why is it the second time he's been in a movie with... There's the picture of him where he's, like, always in the car and the passenger is the, like, CGI thing. Like, why is this such a common theme for that guy? Why is he needs to get his life together. That's what he needs to do. So Springtrap comes back, and he's walking around, talking to who.
Yeah, but he's so cute though.
Yeah, I probably got a couple of screws up in my head loose, but no worse than what's going on.
But what's worse? Shoot. He comes back in the new location, but it's not actually a Freddy Fazbear location. Fazbear Frights, a horror attraction made to poke fun and also, like, scare people based on the old stories of the robot Fredbears. Because at this point, people are just like, that didn't happen. 20 years ago, didn't happen. Because people do that sometimes. You ever World War II? Did not happen. So he comes back because apparently when you see a decrepit corpse on the floor, you think that goes in my horror attraction. That's legal. So they take him and put him in the new location. But Michael knows this. Michael's working that place. He knows. He is in the building with William for the first time in 20 years, probably. I don't know. I don't care. I do care. It's important. But he then is in the building with him, and he burns the building to the ground, killing Springtrap, and him barely making out with his life. And finally, he's finished his story. And after Springtrap was killed, Michael frees the souls of the remaining spirits. Freddy, Foxy, Bonnie, and Chica. And they're all free now. And then 5 years later, Springtrap is back. He didn't die. So, he comes back. And if you've been keeping track, we still have a solid, 5 animatronics that are just still walking around the streets of, I don't know, Utah or something. So Henry Emily, who literally hasn't done anything in the past 30 years, realizes that's not right. And he decides to make a plan where he would trap all the animatronics in one building and burn it all to the ground. Finally ending the story, which is what he does in Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator. He takes all the animatronics, including Molten Freddy, because Baby was kicked out of the group for some reason. I don't remember. I don't remember. She was kicked out of the group for some reason. No one knows why. That's not true. She was kicked out of the group, forming Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy as two different people. We have Scrap Trap now, who is Springtrap, but with a bigger forehead. And then we have Lefty. Now, Lefty is an animatronic designed to capture the puppet, which is what it did. And now the puppet's in there. So after all this happens, Michael Afton steps up to the plate and takes the position of security guard again. This guy's resume must be so cracked. It's just only security guard and a solid 7 gaps in his resume, but he is chilling. So after that happens, Henry Emily is like, connection terminated. Sorry, Elizabeth, if you even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You're not here to receive a gift, or were you called here by the individual you presume? However, you have indeed been called into a labyrinth of sights and sounds, smells, and misdirection. That's as far as I know the speech, but after that, all of that stuff happens. All of the animatronics burn to the ground, including Henry and Michael Afton. And this time, it actually works, finally ending the saga.
I definitely did not forget to mention UCN, which is practically William Afton's hell, being tormented by Cassidy, who is the evil spirit and Golden Freddy, who refuses to move on, keeping William Afton trapped in hell forever, therefore ending his story. Or so we thought, as you'll see in a second.
And then Help Wanted happens, where it kind of retcons all of it, kind of doesn't. We're still unclear. But Afton's back. He looks like this now. he's not even real anymore. He's an MP4 file. So Fazbear Entertainment creates a VR game making fun of themselves while also fully exposing all of their deep dark secrets. It was not a smart business move, but like I wouldn't call this business smart in any sense of the word. But they create the VR game, and after that happens, Glitch Trap, which is his name now, it looks like this if you need a reminder, just saying, MP4 file, he comes back as a virus, infecting the VR game, and any of the beta testers who are testing out the game are now infected by his little hands. Then after that happens, he escapes and is now free to walk around, and we get this really interesting setup where Vanny was teased using this bunny mask, and we all thought, wow, I can't wait for them to play a big role in the next game. So then Security Breach comes out and just it ignores the plot and just does its own thing. Vanny does not play a role. She's in like 5 minutes of gameplay. Afton's back again, and he looks like this. And then there's a big blob of like every animatronic, which should be dead, but I don't know. It's back apparently. And then there's more animatronics. There's Glamrock Freddy. Everyone wants to fuck him. There's Glamrock Freddy. And all the other Glamrock animatronics. Everyone wants to fuck every single one of them. Scratch that, not just Freddy, all of them. And they look like this. Notice how I keep saying they look like this. I have nothing else to say about them. I don't care about them. So after the game ends, I don't know, man. You kill Afton again. Maybe. I don't know. Then the blob takes him. Then you run out of the building. And you're playing as a small child named Gregory, which I don't care about. There's all this lore where it's like, Gregory's a robot. Glamrock Freddy's Michael Afton. But none of it matters. You see, it doesn't matter. I think people need to realize that. None of this, in this whole area, matters that much. Bottom line, the game's ended with FNAF 6. The story kept going. Don't ask me why. But bottom line, that's the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. Funny thing is, I'm no longer crazy. I'm just mad.